I tell you what, if I'm in a fight though, and my teammates stand behind me and do this, come on, man. We can't be doing that.
Just a few days ago, Draymond Green threw some serious shade at Jordan Poole for not stepping up for Jose Alvarado during his clash with Mark Williams, and things got messy fast.
I tell you what, if I'm in a fight though, and my teammates stand behind me and do this, come on, man. We can't be doing that.
After getting mocked one time too many, Poole finally snapped and went face-to-face with Draymond on Instagram Live. No filters, no PR spin, just straight-up tension and raw energy caught in real time. This wasn't just another social media spat. It was the latest chapter in one of the NBA's most dramatic rivalries. Some beefs fade after a season, but then there are grudges so personal, so drenched in betrayal that they never really die. Draymond and Poole's feud? It's one of those. Every time fans think it's over, something new sets it off again. And this latest moment had everyone glued to their screens.
David West used to always tell us, man, if something go on the court, you go over there because you don't know what's going to happen. I ain't saying you got to go over there and fight, but you at least got to go stand up because you don't know what's going to happen. What if those five guys jump on your one teammate and you stay over there? Then what? You just going to not help them?
Draymond decided to take to his own platform, The Draymond Green Show, and made comments that fans instantly took as a direct hit at his former Golden State Warriors teammate. The way he said it, the timing, and their messy past, it all came together to spark a wildfire online. Social media exploded with reactions, memes, and hot takes from every corner of the internet. So what exactly sparked this new round of drama? It all went down on December 27, 2025, during a game between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Phoenix Suns. Sure, the Suns took the win, 123-114, but nobody cared about the scoreboard once the real action hit.
So David West used to always tell us, man, if your teammate get into it, go over there. I have to teeter that line a little bit because I've been involved in a lot, and so when I hit in the mix, it don't always go that way, so I have to teeter that line and but you got to go over there.
In the third quarter, Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado and Suns center Mark Williams got into a fiery, no-holding-back scuffle that had the entire arena buzzing. That moment was supposed to be just another heated play in a long NBA season, until Draymond made it something way bigger. Things went from tense to chaotic in seconds after a foul call exploded from a few heated words to shoves and then to full-on punches flying on the court. The whole scene was wild, but one moment stood out above everything else. Jose Alvarado, standing at just 6 feet tall, somehow pulled off a crazy uppercut on the towering 7'1" Mark Williams. The size difference made the punch look unreal. Fans couldn't believe what they saw. Both players were tossed from the game right after the scuffle. Alvarado got hit with a 2-game suspension while Williams only sat out for 1. But that wasn't what broke the internet.
This is the biggest crisis that we've ever had since I've been coach here. It's really serious stuff.
What really sent fans into a total frenzy was who was standing in the background the whole time. None other than Jordan Poole himself. And what was Poole doing while his teammate was in the middle of that chaos? According to the viral clips that took over social media, Poole just froze. He stood there with wide eyes, hands down, looking completely stunned, like he couldn't process what was happening. He didn't step in, didn't separate the players, didn't even move closer. That clip spread like wildfire online, and fans couldn't stop replaying it. Everyone was calling it Poole's deer in headlights moment. Then came Draymond Green, the king of NBA hot takes, who couldn't resist jumping into the conversation. On the Draymond Green Show, he spoke about the viral fight without actually naming Poole, but come on, like everyone knew exactly who he meant. The shade was obvious. Fans instantly caught the irony.
And I would say probably by February, I started to feel like myself again and speak more. But guess what? There was 5 months of a season where slippage has just been occurring. And by February, if that slippage has been going on that long, you are who you are. At that point, you've built those habits. You've built bad habits. That is who you are now.
Draymond Green, of all people, calling out someone else's reaction during a fight. The basketball world couldn't help but point out the hypocrisy, especially after his own infamous altercation with Poole that still haunts NBA history. Twitter lit up with jokes and memes, some saying Poole looked like he was having PTSD flashbacks, while others claimed he was just being smart and keeping himself far from any kind of violence after what he'd been through. The whole situation turned into a mix of shock, humor, and controversy, the kind of drama only the NBA can deliver. What makes this whole situation even crazier is the timing. Just a few weeks before calling Poole out, Draymond Green had publicly talked about their relationship, admitting that what happened between them was one of my biggest failures as a vet. So when he turned around and threw shade at Poole's reaction to that fight, Fans were stunned. People couldn't tell if Draymond was being careless, cold, or just straight up petty, but either way, it felt messy.
You could have did it a different way.
So you have to be a little more patient. You have to be a little more, you got to be the big homie. So some of that you have to take. Some of that you have to take. Some of that you have to pull Doom to the side and have a one-on-one and get a lot more from that, I found, versus doing it in front of everybody.
For a lot of fans, it wasn't just the comment itself that hit hard. It was what it represented. To really understand the weight of this moment, you have to rewind and look at the full story between these two. Because this isn't just about a December 2025 game or a podcast jab. This is the peak of a feud that's been simmering for years. What we're seeing now is the fallout from deep tension, broken trust, and bad blood that started way back when things were supposed to be perfect between them. Let's take it back to where it all began, the timeline that explains how this brotherhood turned into a headline-grabbing rivalry. Before all the chaos, before the viral clips and public drama, there was actually real love and respect between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Yeah, that's the part people forget. Once upon a time, they weren't enemies. They were teammates who genuinely had each other's backs. When Jordan Poole joined the Golden State Warriors as a 2019 first-round pick, he came in hungry to learn, to earn his place, and to grow under the best.
Are you still playing if that stuff with Jordan Poole didn't happen early in the season?
I absolutely think so, because I still think the fact of the matter is it's going to be hard. I don't really think anyone could beat us, and I know we just lost.
Out of everyone in that championship locker room, with legends all around, Poole chose to sit next to Draymond Green. That wasn't by chance. He wanted to soak up knowledge from the team's loudest leader, the guy known for his passion, grit, and fire. Imagine that, a rookie deliberately picking his locker beside one of the most vocal veterans in the league, because he wanted to be mentored by him. At that time, their connection looked solid, like the start of something great. Draymond was the veteran voice, and Poole was the bright new energy, eager to prove himself. Nobody could have guessed that the same partnership built on mentorship and respect would one day turn into one of the NBA's most talked about rivalries. That choice said everything about the kind of respect Jordan Poole had for Draymond Green's leadership and championship legacy. Back then, Poole saw Draymond as the blueprint, a proven winner, a voice in the locker room, and the kind of vet any young player would want to learn from. And for a while, that decision totally paid off.
There's obviously been, much conversation about Draymond, going back to obviously the preseason incident. Even postseason, they were pretty adamant that they felt like it really impacted what went on last season. What is your just general perspective on how much of an impact the Draymond punch had on last season, and how is it left now with him and them?
Yeah, we're in Washington now.
By the 2021 to 2022 season, their connection had grown tight. Poole even described their bond as super authentic and genuine, calling Draymond his big bro in interviews and showing love for Green's loud, tough love coaching style on the court. Their chemistry was obvious. Fans could feel it every time they shared the floor. Draymond hyped up Poole's progress, especially how sharp he'd become at reading defenses, controlling tempo, and taking advantage of the screens Draymond set for him. Together, they became a dangerous duo. Their pick-and-roll game was smooth. Poole used Draymond's high screens to get open looks, and Draymond created lanes for Poole's lightning-fast jump shots. It was a perfect rhythm, the kind of flow that only comes from trust and real teamwork. Every game, they looked more in sync, more confident, like brothers who knew each other's moves without even saying a word. They even had a fun rivalry off the court that fans loved to see. Poole repped the University of Michigan, while Draymond was a proud Michigan State Spartan. Their college banter became an inside joke among Warriors fans. On his podcast in April 2022, Draymond laughed and said, "Jordan, as we all know, went to the school down the highway from Michigan State University. No need to mention the school's name, but I absolutely hated him. It was pure humor. No bad blood at all."
And I will say, kind of got thrusted into a vet role before I was ready to handle it, before I knew what it took to handle it, and I felt miserable. I felt miserably. One of my biggest failures as a vet was what happened with Jordan Poole.
That back and forth showed how comfortable they were around each other. It was friendly fire, the kind of teasing that happens only when there's real trust and genuine love between teammates. Their vibe off the court carried right into the games, and it worked wonders. That season, Poole turned into a breakout star, averaging 18.5 points a game while thriving in that two-man game. with Draymond that analysts couldn't stop talking about. Their connection helped fuel the Warriors' 2022 championship run, the team's 4th title in 8 years. It looked like the beginning of another Warriors dynasty chapter, a perfect balance of veteran grit and young energy. But then came October 2022, and everything shattered in seconds. The bond that once looked unbreakable was suddenly gone, replaced by silence, tension, and a moment so explosive that it changed their relationship forever. During a preseason practice in 2022, everything between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole fell apart in the blink of an eye. Out of nowhere, Draymond punched Poole, and once that video leaked, the entire NBA world stopped.
And it took me to go through that failure with Jordan Poole, who was someone that came in and chose his locker to be next to me because he wanted to learn. Was someone that I would spend time with, that I would pour into, and I it all off. And I haven't felt like that miserably at anything, at most things in my life. And so that was one of my biggest failures.
What was supposed to stay behind closed doors suddenly turned into a public scandal that shook the league. The moment that punch hit the internet, it wasn't just about physical impact. It was about betrayal, broken trust, and a bond destroyed in front of millions. Steve Kerr later said that the leaked video was actually worse than the fight itself. It shattered team chemistry that had taken years to build. There was some trust lost, Kerr admitted, adding that the team needed to get back to what made us successful, a trusting environment, coming from a coach who had led the Warriors through every kind of storm. Those words hit hard. He even confessed it was the angriest he had ever been with Draymond, saying Green had crossed the line and made that season incredibly difficult for everyone involved. Draymond, too, had to face the fallout. He later admitted that the punch muted his voice as a leader. When the Warriors started struggling on defense, he couldn't speak up the same way. His authority in the locker room was gone. Every time he tried to correct someone, that video was the elephant in the room. Players looked at him differently, and the bond that once held the team together just wasn't there anymore. Kerr kept trying to help patch things up. He even told Draymond to take Poole out to dinner to clear the air. But Draymond refused. He never made that call, never sat down to talk, and that silence became its own kind of damage. Every missed conversation made the divide wider and the tension deeper.
Yeah, I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there. And really good group, really good staff. Shout out to the fans. Saw a lot of 3 jerseys out there, a lot of JP3 jerseys, which is always really cool, and always get a lot of love.
What once was a brotherhood turned into 2 people just coexisting under the same roof, and everyone could feel it. The 2022-23 season became proof of how one moment of violence can ripple through everything. The Warriors ended the season 44-38 before getting knocked out in the second round by the Los Angeles Lakers. Poole's playoff performance against LA raised eyebrows. He averaged just 10.3 points per game on 34% shooting. In Game 4, it got even worse. Only 10 minutes on the court, 0 for 4 shooting, and 2 turnovers. That one punch didn't just bruise a player, it cracked the foundation of a dynasty that once seemed unstoppable. The spark that once defined Jordan Poole's game was gone. The fearless confidence he'd shown during his breakout season had completely faded under the heavy cloud of unresolved tension with Draymond Green. It was like the joy got drained right out of his game. After the Warriors' playoff elimination, reporters asked Poole about where things stood between him and Draymond. His answer was short, but it hit like a gut punch. He said, "It's just business. Honestly, that's really all it was. It is. It has been." Those few words said everything.
We got to start with the tweet, bro. After the Washington Wizards game, Jordan Poole said, "I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there." And then you respond with a tweet that says,
I really am sorry.
"I really am sorry." Why did you respond to
The bond that once felt super authentic and genuine had been reduced to nothing more than a cold, professional formality. The brotherhood was over, buried under layers of betrayal, silence, and broken trust. Then came July 2023, the end of an era. The Warriors traded Jordan Poole to the Washington Wizards in exchange for veteran guard Chris Paul. Just like that, Poole's 4-year journey with the team that drafted him and helped shape his early success was done. During his first press conference with the Wizards, a reporter asked if Draymond had reached out after the trade. Poole didn't say a word. He just gave a quiet, awkward stare that spoke volumes. No contact, no closure, just distance. Shortly after, Poole unfollowed Draymond on social media, a move that fans immediately noticed and dissected online. It wasn't just a digital gesture, it was a statement. It screamed that whatever connection they had was officially over. Steve Kerr later admitted the trade's timing felt sudden and tough to process, especially after all Poole had done during the 2022 championship run. But behind the scenes, reports made it clear. The Warriors had made their choice. They were sticking with Draymond, the heart of their championship core, and moving on from Poole. That decision said it all. The organization had chosen loyalty to its longtime veteran over its rising young guard. And with that, Poole was left to rebuild his career somewhere new, carrying the weight of a friendship gone bad and a team that had closed its chapter on him.
I responded because, like, it's been 3 years. Like, let's move on,
Where's the love?
We moved on. Like, we're supposed to move on, man. I really am sorry.
Right.
Like, it was that statement was kind of like, it was kind of like it was looking for some sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of keep wanting to make me out to be the bad guy. Move on, bro. Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have punched him.
After the trade, Draymond Green entered what many saw as a period of reflection, though how real that reflection was is still debated. Between 2024 and 2025, he repeatedly spoke about the infamous punch, calling it one of my biggest personal and professional failures. He said it humbled him, changed him, and forced him to look in the mirror. But not everyone bought it. Some fans believed Draymond was genuinely trying to own up and grow, while others felt it was all just image repair, damage control to protect his reputation. The debate split the basketball world right down the middle. Was Draymond truly remorseful, or was it all just talk to clean up the mess that never really went away? In an October 2024 interview with Anscape's Mark J. Spears, Draymond Green opened up in a rare, brutally honest way. He admitted that after the punch, he became distant, less involved with his teammates outside the game. He said it came down to 3 main things: putting family first, feeling like a been there, done that veteran, and believing he needed to step back because of the tension with Jordan Poole. He explained how that mindset ended up affecting everyone around him, saying he truly missed the tight team bonds that used to drive him to compete at his best. It was a confession that showed just how deep the fallout really went, not just for Poole, but for Draymond himself. That reflection painted a picture of a man who understood the collateral damage of his own actions. A veteran realizing too late that leadership isn't just about intensity, but about connection.
You can't call a man a B word and push him and not get hit either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I kind of
word.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of sit in both of those spaces sometimes. And like the reality is, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle, right? Like, I shouldn't have knocked him out like that. If anything, I should have hemmed him up. Kind of was just a natural reaction. So the reality is, like, I probably should have hemmed him up or something like that.
Then came January 2025, and the drama came roaring back in a way no one could ignore. On January 18th, Jordan Poole made his long-awaited return to Chase Center as a Washington Wizard, and he didn't just show up. He showed out. Dropping a jaw-dropping 38 points, just one shy of his career high, Poole lit up the court like he had something to prove. He went 12 for 25 from the field and hit 8 of 15 from 3, putting on a show that had the whole arena buzzing. The message was clear. Poole was done being the quiet one in the story. It didn't matter that the Warriors ended up winning 122-114. This night was Poole's moment to reclaim his narrative. After the game, reporters asked Poole how it felt to face his old teammates, and his answer became the quote everyone talked about that night. He said, "I've got love for most of those guys." That one word, most, hit like a bomb across social media. Fans and analysts didn't need a detective to figure out who he wasn't talking about. The implication was loud and clear. There was at least one person on that Warriors roster who didn't have Poole's love, and everyone knew exactly who that was. Draymond Green. It was the kind of subtle jab that cuts deeper than a direct call-out. No shouting, no names, just quiet fire that burned through every headline. Then the very next day, ESPN's Mark J. Spears posted Poole's quote on X, and Draymond fired back with a short but powerful response. "I really am sorry." That simple post went viral within minutes. Fans were instantly split. Some saw it as Draymond finally owning up and showing real remorse, while others thought it was just for show, another PR move to smooth things over publicly.
Hey, come on, man. So I know Loon was over there cracking up that Jose was beating up Mark Williams. Cause you're big, man. You know you gotta do better. I was a little surprised. but it was funny.
Whether it was genuine or performative didn't matter. The internet exploded with reactions, and once again, the Draymond Poole saga took over the NBA conversation. Some fans couldn't believe it when they saw Draymond Green's "I really am sorry" post. It felt so out of character that people actually thought his account had been hacked. Nobody expected that kind of humility from Draymond, especially considering how fiery and unapologetic he usually is online. Then, on January 22nd, 2025, Draymond took to the Draymond Green Show with guest Baron Davis to finally clear the air, or at least try to. His explanation turned into what fans started calling an apology cycle, a mix of genuine regret, frustration, and a touch of defensiveness all rolled into one. He said he truly wanted closure and to move on, but at the same time, he couldn't help defending how things originally went down. It was the kind of response that left everyone scratching their heads. Was he sorry or still justifying himself? Nobody could quite tell. In that same interview, Draymond revealed something new. He had actually reached out to apologize to Jordan Poole's parents after some heated back and forth with Poole's father on social media. He admitted that the situation had gotten him off his square, meaning he let the emotions take control and pulled him away from his usual composure. Bringing family into the drama made the whole thing even more personal.
It taught me a ton. It showed me how to be a better vet for Jonathan Kuminga, how to be a better vet for the Moses Moody's, but I had to go through that in order to learn. And like I said, it sucked.
It wasn't just player versus player anymore, it was emotional, raw, and messy on every level. Then came another twist. In June 2025, Jordan Poole was traded again, this time from the Washington Wizards to the New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk. The trade caught fans off guard, but what really shocked everyone was Draymond's reaction. Despite everything that had gone down between them, he actually praised the move. On his podcast, Draymond said, "I like it. Jordan still has room for growth. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet." He even went on to highlight how the Pelicans' structure under Joe DeMars and coach Willie Green could be a great environment for Poole to thrive. He spoke highly of Poole's potential to shine alongside Zion Williamson and Herb Jones, a surprising show of respect that fans didn't see coming. For a brief moment, it really felt like the storm might finally be over. Maybe, just maybe, both men had finally found peace and moved on. The public tone had softened, the comments were positive, and the tension seemed to be cooling down at last. But that peace didn't last long, because then came December 2025, and with it, Draymond's now infamous comments on his podcast about the Jose Alvarado-Mark Williams fight. And just like that, the fragile truce shattered all over again, reigniting one of the most talked about rivalries in the NBA. And here we are, full circle. Watching Draymond Green and Jordan Poole still trading subtle jabs, side comments, and podcast shade like it's part of their daily routine. This never-ending saga keeps looping back on itself, showing no signs of cooling off anytime soon. What makes it so addictive to follow isn't just the drama, it's the deeper question underneath it all. Forgiveness, accountability, and how fragile relationships can be when pride and legacy collide.
You're normally not supposed to punch a guy who's an intricate part of your championship and your championship hopes. You could have broke this boy's jaw. So that lets me know this is a little bit personal.
Draymond has said time and time again that the punch was one of his biggest career regrets. He's apologized in interviews, on podcasts, on social media, everywhere. He's admitted it damaged his leadership and changed how people see him. And yet, he still finds ways to bring Poole's name back into the conversation. Each little comment or subtle jab reopens a wound that clearly never healed. Meanwhile, Jordan Poole's approach has been totally different. Publicly, he's stayed calm. No shouting matches, no messy responses, just cool composure. But every now and then, like with his "most of those guys" quote, he reminds everyone he hasn't forgotten. He's playing it smart, focusing on his current team and future goals, but deep down, the scars are still there. You can feel it, that quiet tension waiting for its next spark. Now, as this rivalry continues to stretch into yet another year, one thing's for sure, this story isn't done. The Draymond and Poole beef has become one of the most fascinating sagas in NBA history. Every game they face off in, every podcast Draymond records, every post they drop on social media, fans are zooming in, reading between the lines, looking for the next move in this never-ending chess match. What started as a mentor and protege relationship built on trust and brotherhood has turned into a battle of pride, emotion, and public perception. The kind of rivalry that keeps basketball fans glued to their screens. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's real. And honestly, we can't look away. We're all locked in. waiting for whatever happens next. If you made it this far, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Who's really in the wrong here, Draymond or Poole? Let's hear it. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.